Hello. Here is my 5-way hackability test. The knives I used in this test are the CRKT Ultima 6.875 inch, so 7-inch blade. The cold steel GI Tanto, that also has a 7-inch blade. The 3 bowies that I used are the SOG Seal Team Elite 7-inch, the Ontario SP6 fighting knife. It's out of the Ontario's Ultimate line, I believe. This is a fighting knife. It's not really a utility knife. As you can see, it's got a real thin bowie blade. And also I have the CRKT Sawtooth 2000 bowie. Alright, the piece of wood I used is a decking 2x4, so it's a kiln dried, chemically treated piece of wood. Not sure exactly what type of wood it is. It's not cedar, I can tell you that. It doesn't smell like cedar. I realize that a 2x4 is going to be much harder than any kind of wood that you'd encounter in the forest, but I believe it's a good test just because it's pretty consistent, and worst case scenario, you deal with something this hard. I realize that even if you found a fault piece of oak that was dry, it wouldn't be quite as hard as this would, but that's not really the point here. Results are results. Alright, first off, I want to mention that all these measurements are as close as I could get with the tape measure. I mean, I rated both of these cuts as 13/16 of an inch. You can kind of see that the GI Tanto was a little bit deeper, and also if you flip it over to the back, they look about the same. So if you notice that there's slight variations and the different cuts have the same measurement, that's why. I averaged it out. So let's start. CRKT Ultima 13/16 of an inch with 30 swings. How I did this test was kind of like beaver chewed it, so hacked here on the diagonal, there on the diagonal, and so on and so forth. So I was using it as effectively as possible. Also, I wasn't using like full swings, because you wouldn't. I mean, you can hardly control where you hit like that, so I was using mostly wrist and a little bit of elbow, so I'd call them quarter swings. So I wasn't using a lot of energy, and that's how you would be using a knife in a survival situation. You don't want to burn calories swinging like a wild man and not getting any results. So, moving on, the cold steel GI Tanto, same depth, 13/16 of an inch with 30 swings. The Ontario SP6 performed the worst out of the whole bunch, barely a quarter of an inch with 30 swings. Even though it's the longest knife in this test, 8 inches, just because it's a fighting knife, it's so well balanced. It's actually very, very light. It doesn't have the mass and the forward weight to be an effective hacker. I'm sure it would do fine. It would serve you just fine cutting greenwood out in the woods, and even dried dead wood. It's long enough, and if you started really swinging on it, I'm sure it would work fine. But like I said earlier, it is a fighting knife. It's not a utility knife. The next blade is the SOG Seal Team Elite 7-inch version. This was the best performing bowie knife out of the bunch. It's also the lightest out of the bunch. So overall, I'd say this knife is the winner. And I think that's just a testament to SOG's quality. And I'd hope that the $120 knife would beat out the rest of the bunch that are all under $50. So the CRKT Sawtooth is the last knife that I used, and it got half an inch with 30 swings. I don't believe this is in production anymore, but it's a great knife. You can pick them up on eBay. I only paid $15 or $20 for this. It's not a full tang. The tang stops about three-quarters of the way down the handle, so it has all the weight forward, so the balance is about here on the blade. This is also a very, very light knife, but it was a lot more effective on this very dense hardwood than the heavier, longer Ontario SP6. The control test that I did was using the cold steel shovel. I did a review on this. Check my channel page and you'll see the review on the cold steel shovel. This I used 15 swings and it netted me just over an inch of cut, and those also were quarter swings, and I was choked up like this. So I didn't use all the leverage and I didn't use a full swing, but it obviously worked a whole lot better just because of the sheer mass of cold steel shovel. So it's pretty much a hatchet. Alright, if you got any questions about any of the knives or my results, any suggestions, post them up. Try to respond to them as soon as possible, or do another video that makes everybody happy. Next review I'm going to be doing, my first pistol review, my first firearm review actually, is the CZ85. Alright, thanks for watching.